Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. TSM here. Okay, so here we go. This is the new tier 12 Garrison hull. It's what we're going to have for the next 6 months. So here's my initial thoughts. I'll give you some builds as well for a countermeasure hull and for a full damage hull. Bear in mind there are going to be multiple upgrades over the next couple of months. Okay, and so things will transition. This is the first of probably 3 videos I'll do on this particular hull. So Triarii, okay then, we all know now that's from a Roman term, okay, from the legions. Singular hull, Triarius, okay then, let's move forward. Okay, so I'm sort of looking at evolution of this hull based over the coming months, right the way through basically until November. I've taken this from the previous hulls, okay, and so particularly from the Ark Battle Carrier. I predicted the upgrade path and the release of specials and weapons. I was reasonably accurate, so I'm quite happy to sort of dip my toe in the water and go again, basically. All right, and so obviously we've got the hull and the engine and the basic weapon as it stands for now. Next month we may get a limited weapon or a possibly new special. That's highly likely for a limited weapon at least. September, we should be getting the flagship in September, and then the U1 to U3 upgrades. And then October, I think this one actually may come with a heavy weapon. I'm not sure. Okay, if not, there may be another special. Something will come in October. And then November should be the X1 upgrades. And then we'll just get to play them in December, and we'll start to get a new hull again for the new year. So that's it. I was quite amused when I was looking around actually at Triarius and what Triarii are, and the little caption there on the left-hand side of the screen, the second part, which amused me greatly. I don't know if Kicks are having a bit of a dig at us personally, but saying that they were the oldest and most wealthiest men in the army and could afford high-quality equipment. Just about summed the game up as far as I'm concerned. I thought it was quite amusing. I don't know. What's your thoughts? Put it in the comments. I chuckled. Okay, so here we are in the game then, and I'm going to look through a couple of builds. First and foremost then, I'm going to look at a countermeasure hull, okay, or countermeasure hulls, because I think we might need at least 2. Clearly on the last one, the Ark, we tried to get all the counters on a single hull, but we can't do that on this one because you can't have that many. I've built all my ships to this at the moment. Obviously that's the standard weapon, which we've got at the moment, the engine and the special. So that's where I'm starting from. Countermeasures, obviously, they can be fit in all 4 of these slots, as you can see, whereas this slot here is just a standard weapon slot and it can't be used as a countermeasure slot. I'm believing at the moment then I'm going to play safe, and I'm going to put basically gales in here, and I know there are other countermeasures you can use, and we already know there's going to be rockets hitting us, but there's a reason why I'm using gales, which is basically they seem to be doing things that maybe they shouldn't do, and that is they seem to counter rockets, or they certainly are in this current raid format anyway for the skirmish hulls, which is very odd. But anyway, it's not too bad because this hull, if you look down the special abilities, okay, it does actually have a built-in weapon. Okay, the built-in weapon is static. It's actually a built-in countermeasure, and it also countermeasures rockets. Okay, so let's just see how that's going to work out. You can't do anything to it. You can't do any reload bonuses, etc., etc. Okay, so I'm interested to see how that pans out. But for now, then I'm going for the gales. Why? Because it's the best item there for countering incoming mortars. There is a standard everyday countermeasure that we can put on that actually does work for rockets, but I don't think it works very well. I don't think it's worked very well for a long time, and that used to be the sprint. The sprint used to be a real good go-to for countering rockets, but it seems to be busted, or it was busted, and I don't know if it's going to work at all. Clearly we've not seen any targets yet, so for now I'm not going anywhere near it personally. I suppose the next thing is to look at specials. Okay then, well for me, I think first and foremost I quite like nothing to do with the countermeasure, but definitely that all the specials I'm selecting here are all standard blueprints, nothing limited at the moment. Okay, so first and foremost, I quite like K2 Bombardment because obviously you get a massive amount of building and wall damage, so that's quite decent to have. Next, I'm going for, where is it? There it is there then, the Defile Reloader. Why? Because obviously critical chance and reload is huge, 160% and also 30% explosive damage, so that's a really good special as well. And last but not least, obviously on damage, then I'm going to go for the obviously Garrison Battery Mark II. Okay, it was only just released a couple of tiers ago, or a tier ago. We have obviously had a tier 11.5 as well, but this is my third damage special. Now you've got a choice of countermeasure specials. It's obviously the Victorious system, which is what I'm actually going to use. Or you could nip over, okay then, and go for the Hydro Nozzles. Personally, I find Victorious system is more consistent. That's just the way it seems to work in the game. A couple of people have asked me which current measure I've been using this current raid, and I've said Victorious. They've tried Hydro Nozzles, and then they switched across and said Victorious is working better for them and they're getting less damage. So that's how I'm going to stick. Okay, so that's it for my countermeasure hole. Clearly rank them up first. There probably won't be a VXP target for this, and it might come as a Garrison target itself in the FM. Armors, normally, unless there's obviously a massive amount of king killer and penetrative, you generally take more explosive than you do penetrative. So what I'm going to do basically is I'm going to start off and that's where I'm going to start. Okay, so that's the countermeasure hole for me, unless something specifically comes out in the FM. Okay, but I don't think we'll be getting too much just yet. Okay, something may turn up, but we'll see what it is. If they are going to change a special, it wouldn't surprise me if the Defile Reloader changes. It's quite an old one. Also, K2 Bombardment may change, or something else might come in its place. Okay, and obviously Garrison Battery probably not, because that's quite a recent one. So it's probably one of these two here, or we may actually get a new countermeasure because that's also a tier 10 as well. So see what comes out. Now, you know, I'm not too worried about putting these specials on now because these holes are super fast to build. You can see that the whole thing there is under 3 days, which is really, really good. So that's where I'm sitting at the moment. Now, I'm going for 2 ships like this to start with. Why? Because I think 6 Gales is enough, and probably 2 MDS3s is probably enough as well. So that's where I'm going to go. Then all I'm going to do for the other 3 ships, I am going to do 5 ships for this fleet right at the start, because as you saw, it's going to be a while before we get a flagship, so why not have more damage? And basically, I'm going to go back in again. I'm going to go back to all. I'm going to pick up this standard weapon as it stands up now. Take off Victorious. Now you've got a couple of options. Okay, there's very limited you can put on here. Splash you could put on, yes. Okay, there is a splash special you can add. There is also an explosive upgrade that you can add as well. But for this, because I've had to take off that countermeasure, okay, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to up a little bit on the on my reload, because I'm thinking I'm not quite down to 0.2 on the maximum reload. Okay, so all I'm going to do is go cluster warheads 1, and that's a 148. Okay, 0.6% boost. There's no point going any more because it's just wasted. It's just extra build time. This will get you down to maximum reload. If you want to play safe and put that, you know, version 2 on, then feel free. You can do, but you shouldn't need to, because you should be at the position where you are at maximum the 0.2 reload anyway. You were virtually there anyway with Victorious system on. So that's it really. I'm going to do 3 holes like that. Okay. I do not know if we're going to have a massive amount of, like I say, King Killer. And if it is King Killer, then what I'm probably going to do personally, I'm probably going to find a slightly heavier weapon if I can find one. Okay. And then I'll probably put some GS3 on here. and then maybe a couple of evade upgrades and make that a flagship. That's probably what I'll do. Worst case scenario, I could change some of this armor for evade as well, but it's too early to tell. So for now, I'm going to build 4 ships, 2 countermeasure, 2 full damage like this. I've got the 5th ship already built with just the 2 specials and weapons on. Okay, like I said, I'm going to go ahead with most of the specials, and if I have to switch it off and switch to guided scrambler, because these ships are so fast to adjust, it'll be 1 or 2 FM tokens to sort that out, which is nothing really, to be honest. Okay, that's it. So that's video 1. Okay, and there will be more in this series, like I said, because this hull will evolve over time. Just remember, we'll be going back. Okay, and limited weapons will come in August. Definitely we'll be getting U1 to U3s in September. So that'll be probably the next video, I think, to be honest. So look forward to that. Anyway, that's it for now. Hope it helps. TSM out.